Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Moreno, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Welcome along to the Premier League on the TCHub Live. Bournemouth against Arsenal. Alternative audio commentary with myself, Russ Vernon, at the Vitality Stadium tonight. I'll be a presenter and commentator for this evening's game, and the producer for us today is our very own Paul James, who did an excellent job on commentary during the week between Liverpool and Leeds United that ended 0-0. Let's hope our second live game of the new year doesn't end 0-0 as well. The two teams have just emerged from the tunnel down below us as we get ready for kick-off between Bournemouth and Arsenal. 5:30 kick-off is the kick-off time as the players go through the handshakes as we get ready to look at the two teams. And we'll look at the teams now, starting off with Bournemouth, who line up as follows. Jordi Petrovic starts between the sticks. It's Alex Jimenez, James Hill, Marcus Senesi, Adrian Truffert across the back. There's a two-man defensive midfield with Marcus Tavernier and Alex Scott in there for the Cherries, with David Brooks the captain, Justin Clabert and Antoine Semenyo linked away who will move to Manchester City behind the lone striker of Evan Nielsen, who starts again in the attack for the Cherries today. On the bench, Krupa Jr., Diakate Smith, Bliss Cook and Reece Stotton on the bench there as well. Let's take a look then at Arsenal's lineup today. Chosen by Mikel Arteta is David Raya between the sticks for the Gunners today. Ewan Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel and Piero Hincapié the back four. Martin Odegaard, Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice. In midfield, Declan Rice returns to the side. As does Nodiman Weke and Gabriel Martinelli. They play either side of Victor Gyökeres today for the Gunners. On the bench, there's these Bukayo Saka job down there. Trossard down there too. Eze on the bench as well. White, Jesus on the bench as well. Noga as well amongst the bench there. Also dropping to the bench today is Mikel Merino. So the full bench in full then for Bournemouth. Cook, Soler, Smith, forced to the backup goalkeeper, Diakate, Adil, Junior, Krupa Jr., Enes Unal, and Remy Reece Stotton for Arsenal. White, Saka, Jesus, Eze, Kepa, Odegaard, Trossard, Moreno, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Let's take a look then at the match officials today. And the referee today is Chris Kavanagh. Is the match officials for this game today, assisted by Dan Cook and Ian Hussain. Lewis Smith is the fourth official, and on VAR is Paul Tierney and Mark Perry, should we need them down at Stockley Park today. Looking set to what's going to be a big game then, down on the south coast. Who will come out on top? Will it be Bournemouth or will it be Arsenal that come out on top in this big game? As the Arsenal team, white shirts today, white shorts, the white shirts, burgundy shorts and white socks, just went into another there. Bournemouth in there, just your colours of red and black stripes today. And the big game there for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, looking to go 6 points clear of Aston Villa following their win earlier on today in the Premier League over Nottingham Forest. There is some games tomorrow in the Premier League which we'll tell you about very shortly, as we will get ready for kick-off then in this game tonight. It's Bournemouth against Arsenal in the Premier League, and it'll be Bournemouth to get off and underway in his second now once Chris Kavanagh checks his watch, puts the whistle to lips and blows as the game is now underway here at the Vitality Stadium as Earl sends this ball towards our far right hand side, looking over there as towards Semenyo, and Semenyo's inside the penalty area already. With a chance for Bournemouth. Antoine Semenyo does well and he wins a corner kick for Bournemouth inside 15 seconds. And that's a wonderful start. Barrios there does well. Antoine Semenyo, and it was Martin Zubimendi who got back there to put it behind for a corner kick to Bournemouth early on. Good fast start then from the Cherries as Justin Cliver, the son of Patrick, will take this corner kick then from the right hand side. He delivers the ball towards the penalty area where Victor Gyökeres heads clear. Back to Cliver again, who just keeps possession for Bournemouth. Ball come back towards the far side looking for the run of Senesi, who stayed up from that corner. Now Arsenal will look to try and break us. Evan Nielsen as Saliba has to come across there to help out Gabriel in the back there as here comes Arsenal trying to get a foot hold of the game. Saliba now across there to tidy up and push it out for a throw into Bournemouth. And this is good early pressure by the Cherries, and Bournemouth have started well here, and normally this is a sticky place for Arsenal to come, especially in recent years in the Premier League. I was speaking to my producer off air, and he's hoping that Arsenal do not falter here, because this is the sort of team that you would expect, you would say Arsenal need to be winning if they are to keep up with the pace of the top of the table of teams around the relegation places. That's where Bournemouth are in the table at the moment. We'll look at the table at the end of the game. Here's Semenyo with the cross into the penalty area, heads up and away, and it goes behind for another corner to Bournemouth. And Gabriel looking for a free kick in there as he went down inside the penalty area. Nothing doing according to Chris Cameron. We'll have a look at it again. Semenyo with the ball in, and he jumps up this. He looks like he got a nudge from Evan Nielsen as he's headed, as he challenged for the ball there. Gabriel, but nothing given by the match official today. Here's the corner then for the Cherries once more. Cliver delivers the ball in towards the penalty area. It's headed up and away. Madueke flicks it on, and Gyökeres sends it long downfield. It will be the challenge there by Victor Gyökeres will go on the ball, and now he's coming forward with possession. It's Gabriel Martinelli in towards the aforementioned Victor Gyökeres, who's had a terrific start to his career in the Arsenal in recent months, or that good spell in front of goal in recent months. And I know that from chats from the game against Aston Villa in midweek, there were talks that they should be playing Gabriel Jesus ahead of him, and Jesus came on and scored with one of his first touches, I believe, in the game over Aston Villa in midweek. And we've got respectable 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea in what was Enzo Maresca's final game in charge of the Blues, and he left yesterday. Well, on Thursday, should I say. Callum McFarlane, one of the academy coaches in charge of their game against Manchester City this weekend for Chelsea, as here's Gabriel with possession for Arsenal. Just rolls it across here to Saliba. Saliba will turn away and drop it back there to David Raya. Raya across there into the path of Gabriel again. And also just keeping possession, but they've been putting a bit of pressure. Here's Declan Rice trying to take a bit of pressure away from the Gunners as he plays it to this far left hand side in Cappy, who gets the ball down the line there. Wonderful run. And he's in towards the penalty area this time. And poor final decision making there as Arsenal try to come forward down that left hand side. Here they come again at Bournemouth, but Arsenal nipping in with Noni Madueke to win the ball from Zubimendi into Saliba. Now Declan Rice. Odegaard, the captain, looks to come forward. It's Aouar with Noni Madueke. Madueke charging forward down the far side. Here's Madueke in towards the penalty area. Saliba back in towards Madueke, and Bournemouth just doing enough there to clear the ball away, but only coming back towards them. But only as far as Cliver, who slips on possession and manages somehow to retain possession from Bournemouth. Here's Antoine Semenyo. As I mentioned at the top of the show, linked with a move away to Manchester City, but not gone yet. And he was asked, was Andoni Iraola, was Semenyo's last game in Bournemouth shirt at Stamford Bridge? He said no, and he was right. Here is The straight from Martin Odegaard. That's over the top of the crossbar, moving wide. Always going wide there from Martin Odegaard. As we have played coming up to us 5.5 minutes here at the Vitality Stadium. It is Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 0 in the Premier League. As you can see the head-to-head stats there on your screen, as Arsenal with 13 wins compared to Bournemouth's 3. 2 draws. Most recent wins 3 for Arsenal, 2 for Bournemouth. There as well, and win percentage for Arsenal 0.72, and for Bournemouth 0.17 there. Bournemouth down in 15th place in the Premier League. Arsenal in first in the table there. And I was just about to come on to that one, Paul, but thank you for your info there. As he's just mentioned, that Bournemouth did the double over the Gunners last season, and they'll be looking to do the same yet again this time around. And this is the first meeting this season between the two sides, with most people not faced all the opposition once in this season. In the faced a couple of teams twice, because Arsenal have faced Aston Villa twice this season, and did a better result against them at the Emirates than what they did at Villa Park in midweek. Did the Gunners against the Villains. He's still goalless here with the Vitality as we approach the 7th minute mark. He's out wide with Noni Madueke. As here comes Martin Zubimendi. Good ball in field to Victor Gyökeres. Can he get a strike and a goal? He can't. As Marco Senesi nips in to win the ball back for Bournemouth. And Jordi Petrovic clears the ball away. There's Antoine Semenyo caught on the end of it though. His Arsenal win possession back. Gyökeres can't get there, but Rice can through Arsenal into Zubimendi. And now back to Saliba. And Gabriel now has possession. Gabriel once more. Over halfway from Gabriel, and he looks to charge forward here. Goes across to Yurian Timber. Timber charges forward. Out to Noni Madueke. Attacking the penalty area on the right hand side. Madueke cuts in. Noni Madueke, and that's a poor effort from Noni Madueke. After he cuts in there, he's got to do better. He's got to test the goalkeeper there. Brilliant play from Yurian Timber initially. Out to Madueke. And then he cuts inside brilliantly away from Truffert, and then he just puts Alex Scott on his backside. He's slipped there, I think, Alex Scott. And you come to sliding to make the challenge, and he fires it over the top of the crossbar. That really should be doing better there for Arsenal, as Martin Odegaard closes down Petrovic as he plays the ball out wide to that far side. And for Jimenez, good control from Jimenez into Tavernier. Marcus Tavernier across now to Truffert, and he does well to hold up possession. Into field to Hill, who can look to fetch his ball forward. Here is Scott now. With a bit of possession for Bournemouth, let's like to keep hold of possession, and there's Senesi across to Hill, who can look to come forward for Bournemouth. Back into Senesi, and we've got two opposite goalkeepers, Petrovic and Ray. Both teams are down at the opposite ends of the table, and we'll look at the statistics of those two in a moment. After this attack from Truffert, whose ball deflects from Madueke into the arms of the Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya. And let's take a look at the stats between the two goalkeepers, which are going to be very interesting to read here, and brought to us by JB Sports. And you can see that both 19 games played, 35 goals conceded for Jordi Petrovic, 12 for David Raya. That's a 1.84 goals against average for Jordi Petrovic. For David Raya is a 0.63 goals against average. And if you look at the save percentage, 6.632 for Petrovic, while a 0.721 for David Raya. 5 clean sheets for Jordi Petrovic. He'll be looking for his 6th of the season, while David Raya will be looking for his 9th of the season. For his 10th of the season. But Raya won't get it, as Bournemouth have scored. Just as I'm reading about the statistics, Emma Nielsen has opened the scoring, and Bournemouth have taken the lead. What were Arsenal doing there? Gabriel can walk and look at his teammates and shake his head all he wants. But that is poor defending from Arsenal. Just look at this. Poor out. It is Zubimendi. And Zubimendi just doesn't look confident. He plays it back to Gabriel, and Gabriel just plays it straight to Evan Nielsen. What was Gabriel thinking? And that's an easy tap in for Evan Nielsen. And that's one of the most easiest goals Bournemouth will score all season. Poor mistake by Gabriel. And you can shake your head all you want, Gabriel. That's all on you. You never looked. You just played that first time. And that is poor. From a team who's at the top of the table. That is so poor there from Evan Nielsen by Gabriel. And Evan Nielsen just said, thank you very much, Raya. And no chance with that one. And Arsenal fall behind him in the Vitality Stadium on 10 minutes. It's Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0. As Cherries tries to come forward, and that's a wonderful challenge from Jimenez there to prevent Cherries from getting away down that far left-hand side. But this is what I've said about with Bournemouth. This is what I was saying at the top of the show to you, Paul, before we went on air with to you about Evan Nielsen and Bournemouth. Well, Bournemouth in general. They seem to surprise teams and coming to the Vitality. It's not an easy place. You mentioned Bournemouth, and I mentioned as well Bournemouth did the double over Arsenal last season. And I said it's a tricky game for Arsenal, and potentially a banana skinning, if you will, as well. But you look at this, and this is so poor. As you've got to say, what was Gabriel doing there? Gabriel, my oh my, what were you doing? And if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be tearing my hair out of that defending. Here's Tavernier. What can Bournemouth do now is Kluivert. Kluivert lies up a strike and just wide of the post there from Justin Kluivert. And that was almost 2-0 to Bournemouth inside 13 minutes. Brilliant effort here from Justin Kluivert, and just the wrong side of the post in the end there. As Evan Nielsen just knocked it back in as he come back onto the field. From the effort there from Kluivert, that was almost 2-0. You've got to say, Iraola, if Bournemouth were to win this today, it's got Arteta's number. He knows how to play against Mikel Arteta. And you really think if other teams are coming up against Arsenal in the next few weeks and months, you've got to be thinking if Bournemouth were to win this and they did the double, as I said, last season against the Gunners, you've got to be thinking, if you were a fan of those, you've got to be thinking, right, your manager needs to get on to Iraola and get Iraola to explain his tactical plan against Arsenal if he were to work again this season, especially after he did the double last season, and to get the better of Mikel Arteta's side as Cherries goes down under the challenge there of Marcus Senesi, and is a free kick to Bournemouth, who lead here by a goal to 0 thanks to the strike from Evan Nielsen. And you've got to question Gabriel there, as really do, to be honest. And Paul says there's nothing reminds me of more in all football than sloppy defending. And Paul, you've got to say, my friend, that was sloppy defending from Arsenal. And Gabriel, he just played it blindly there when he received it from Nkapie. He just played it blindly and was like, he'd be fine, Sleepy couldn't reach that. Or it's fine, he's going back to David Raya, and didn't see Evan Nielsen till it was too late. Now Arsenal have a free kick on that far side after a foul over there on Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel Magalhaes, the man who gave away the goal, will be looking to try and add to this one. And conceding first this season, he's had 6 times for Arsenal, and they've only won once in that after conceding first. And so you've got to hope we can make it 2 Gunners fans, because that will not be a good reading if they were to lose again here today. Here's Madueke, takes on Semenyo, does well. Madueke inside the penalty area, still goes well, pulls the ball back, Chance here. Martinelli blocked. Gabriel Magalhaes. And Gabriel has scored. He's made up for his mistake. And Gabriel made a mistake at one end and scores with back level is one apiece. And Gabriel's made up for it. There's a man down for Bournemouth inside the penalty area. I believe it's Marcus Senesi who's down. Or it might be Evan Nielsen who's gone down inside the penalty area. VAR will be checking this, see if there's anything wrong with it. I'm going to look at this as well. Free kick came in, punched clear by Johnny Petrovic. Comes out to Noni Manweke. And then this ball comes back in. You see, is there a foul in there from anybody? Let's have a look. Ooh, could that be a foul there by Nkapie on Evan Nielsen? VAR will be checking that. I just want to look at this again from this angle. This will tell us whether there was a clear foul in there. As the ball comes back in here, it looks like Nkapie tries to get the ball, and this will probably tell us from this angle. This will tell us, does he get the ball or does he gets the ball? For me, then the Martinelli shot is blocked, comes out to Gabriel Magalhaes, and he finds it into the back of the net for Arsenal. I would imagine the VAR will be checking that one for the foul in there. But I think for me, I've been looking at it again, it should be given here. And they not get back off yet. They also got into shape. Go back into shape. I can tell you the goal has been given as both are about to get this game back underway. So we are at one apiece. And Paul, I must say, I agree with you. It was dreadful. The defending for the Bournemouth goal, but Arsenal right back in it. And the coach who made the mistake has got them back level and has shown Victor Gyökeres out to fire in front of goal. It's Gyökeres again. Can he strike a for Arsenal in the lead? This time Gyökeres' shot is blocked. This time by Hill, and he goes behind for a corner. Well, this is better from Arsenal now. They're trying to get on the ball a bit more. They're going to control things in the striking there off of the chest of James Hill there and behind for the corner. But Paul, you've got to be good about in terms of the response from Arsenal. They're looking to see if they can get another one here. And if Arsenal were to go 2-1 up now in space of a few minutes, that's going to be a perfect response to going behind and what champions show. Let's see if they can do that though. First is Rice leaves a corner. He punched clear by Petrovic. Semenyo's there to try and help Bournemouth clear the lines, and they do. Only as far as Iraola sends it back downfield and straight out of play for a throw to Bournemouth. But all, as I was saying, you've got to be pleased with how Arsenal have responded to going a goal down to get back on level terms against the Cherries, who are struggling in the Premier League table. And as we mentioned earlier, off air, Arsenal need to be winning these sort of games if they are trying any chance of winning the title this season. Saliba shows Gabriel how to play it back, and so does David Raya, shows him how to make sure the ball is cleared away. They're not doing a silly mistake. But can Declan Rice get it? Charge down his clearance, so Slovenia wins the header. It's headed back forward by Zubamendi this time. Gyökeres is there. Alex Scott wins the header and goes down in a free kick foul by Gyökeres and Alex Scott. And I didn't see anything wrong with that one there. They were just challenging for the ball. Let's look at this again. Challenging for the ball here. And if anything, Scott goes into him. He gets back up and then goes back down again. That's a perfectly good challenge there from Gyökeres. And he's getting a foul against Victor Gyökeres. And I can't understand why Chris Kavanagh has done that. And Chris Kavanagh was the referee for the Leeds game in midweek as well against Liverpool on the channel. And for me, Kavanagh made some weird decisions that day when I was watching that game on Thursday between Liverpool and Leeds. And I think Chris Kavanagh made some pretty poor decisions, not just sometimes for against Leeds, but also sometimes against Liverpool as well. Some pretty baffling decisions, and there was another baffling decision there, which he gave a few moments ago. Luckily for Arsenal, Bournemouth didn't punish it. Bournemouth started to try and get a bit more control back into this game as we look here. Since the Evan Nielsen goal, there's been 1 Bournemouth shot, 3 for Arsenal, 6 touches in the position box for Arsenal, none for Bournemouth. Arsenal have had 78% possession, Bournemouth's 22% since the opening goal of the game, which was a gift by Gabriel Magalhaes to Evan Nielsen. Here's David Brooks now as he throws this forward. Goes Evan Nielsen. Evan Nielsen! Shot is poor, and he was offside anyway, so the goal would be countered. And let's just look at this again. And David Brooks, why did he pass it to Evan Nielsen? There you can clearly see Evan Nielsen's offside. He's better to play to cross the box there. That way, Bournemouth would have had a chance of a shooting opportunity or plenty further away and getting the cross in. But playing like that is always going to give Arsenal possession back and a bit of respite after that bit of pressure there. I don't understand why he tried playing Evan Nielsen there, David Brooks, who is the captain for Bournemouth today. And Martin Odegaard is the captain for Arsenal, as here is Saliba. To Martin Zubimendi, who can look to try and get Arsenal engineering forward, but they've lost out as Declan Rice was caught in possession by Alex Scott. And here's Tavernier now. I'll watch Alex Scott. That's a better ball from Bournemouth to play alongside. No ball into the penalty. Truffert is there as he was cleared initially by Saliba. Here is David Brooks. Good ball in towards the penalty area to Clivert. And Bournemouth just keeping hold of possession. Here's Alex Scott now in possession to Senesi. How wide it goes from Senesi. That's a wonderful, brilliant pass there. Here they come again. There's number 20, Jimenez. Jimenez looks to get towards the penalty area, pulls the ball back. Crossing, and Tavernier's header is just wide of the post. Well wide in the end. Well, that is ball there from Tavernier. Did well to get up, but with a direct on goal, and he goes right in process. It was better, but he wants one thing on Arsenal players' minds: 0, as in clean sheets. He wants Arsenal to try and start keeping clean sheets, because conceding goals of late, they conceded a goal late on against Aston Villa in midweek, and we've conceded another one tonight. So, and if we concede another one, if we concede against Liverpool in midweek as well, this upcoming midweek, then that'll be 3 games in a row where Arsenal have conceded and having to try and score at least 2 goals per game to win the match. When if you can keep clean sheets, you only really need to score 1, which would put less pressure onto the team. There, as here comes Bournemouth now as they look to try to come forward, and Evan Nielsen has gone down there under the challenge of Gabriel Magalhaes, the centre back. If we look here, that's Evan Nielsen. And that is a poor challenge from Gabriel. He can complain all he wants saying he got the ball, but Evan Nielsen played the ball away and then he went in there. Gabriel was very poor from him. Really, he was a fault for the goal for Bournemouth. He got Arsenal back on level, Tim, and that was another poor piece of play by Gabriel Magalhaes, as it is Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. In the Premier League. There's a few games tomorrow. When I say a few, there's virtually a full fixture list tomorrow, only a few today. This is only the 4th game today in the Premier League because of matches on New Year's Day. There's some matches on New Year's Day, which means the majority of the games have to be played tomorrow. Is Cliver with the effort and just wide of the target from Justin Cliver. That was a brilliant free kick. And Arsenal have gone with the goal kick very, very quickly, as Martin Odegaard has found Jurrien Timber. Back into Odegaard again. Now Rice. Madueke. Can't get the ball through to Rice. There's Evan Nielsen now. One full play from Evan Nielsen. Truffert. Down the line he goes and Brooks inside to Evan Nielsen. Good play from Evan Nielsen out wide. There to Kluivert. Kluivert controls well. Trafford again. Back he goes inside to Senesi. Watch to James Hill over on that far side. Down the line he goes on that far side towards Semenyo. Semenyo cuts in field. Back he goes to Hill and across to Senesi. As Bournemouth look to try and make their way forward here. And that's a poor pass from Trafford as he's headed down there as Madueke controls into Declan Rice across there to the far side for Arsenal. And Capet comes forward and is fouled by Antoine Semenyo. And Antoine Semenyo goes into the referee's no book here for a yellow card for a foul on Piero and Capet. And that was Semenyo's 5th yellow card of the season. But unlike Leeds man Ethan Ampadu who was booked again in the Liverpool game, means he'll miss this weekend's game. The cut-off point for 5 yellow cards was week 19 fixtures, so that means Semenyo will not face a 1-match suspension. So their suspension for yellow cards is 10 yellows. Here's Saliba from that free kick by Declan Rice. Gabriel back into the aforementioned Rice. Now Zubimendi. Gabriel Magalhaes again. And across it to William Saliba. Saliba will look to come forward. And this is Zubimendi again. Back it went to David Raya. And Raya's just assessing his options here. And he sends it long downfield looking for Nori Madueke. But there is Jurrien Timber. Gyökeres does well to hold up the plane, keep Arsenal with possession. Here's Gabriel now into Zubimendi. Gabriel again, and now William Saliba. And Arsenal have given the ball away again, and this time it's Zubimendi who's giving the ball away. Here's Alex Scott for Bournemouth. Scott cuts back and finds the skipper David Brooks. Brooks drops it back here now to Senesi, who can keep possession and play it out wide to the right hand side and Jimenez. A bit of play this by Bournemouth, who went from left to right back to and then right to left again. It's the ball down for looking for Brooks. It's cut out here by Jurrien Timber. Down the line it goes to Martin Odegaard, inside to Declan Rice. Rice will look up and find Odegaard again. In a bit of space, Martin Odegaard. Both are looking for Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres does well to try and keep the ball in play, but failed to do so. And he went behind for a goal kick to Bournemouth as Mikel Arteta barking out some instructions after being spoken to his assistant manager there. And why was Sad just behind them, watching them. As we've got Luis Skelly warming up. Gabriel Jesus also warming up for Arsenal. Over on that far side as the ball is played forward here. And this is a good bit of play now by Arsenal, by Martin to keep possession. Here is Zubimendi down the line. And Capet, who took his eye off the ball there, did Piero and Capet. And you've got to question Arsenal, really, the mentality there, because it was a simple pass into him and he took his eye off the ball. And you've got to be saying, right, take control, be better here. Take control, be better here, because when you look at it, Arsenal have been poor when they've got possession in wide areas and the passes down the line and knock them off. Here's Bournemouth in possession there towards the edge of penalty. Shot is blocked. And Nielsen tried to get his, and Bournemouth's second of the afternoon or evening or morning, depending where you're listening from today. The ball is played forward. Here is Tavernier, and he does well here, Marcus Tavernier. Good ball forward and it's cleared away Wonderful bit of move here. They come again as we look to come forward. Ball up to cross, and the ball just over the top of the crossbar. That's brilliant bit of play from Bournemouth. Again, Justin Clement, I think, was getting in there. Marcus Tavernier too, and it was Tavernier who got across for the near post and almost punished Arsenal there. Clement with the ball in. And Marcus Tavernier almost punishing Arsenal there for poor defensive play. And it remains 1-1 as Evan Nielsen is down. His shoelaces come undone. So he just refastened them. Now he puts his gloves back on as it is below freezing in Bournemouth. -1. Clear night though. It is freezing, and across the country I've been told it's not going to get any higher than -1 overnight, and some matches maybe facing some postponements up and down the country. There were a few in the National League earlier today where some of those games were called off due to frozen pitches, like Southend against Truro and Walsall. The decision for that one should have been made last night to save the fans from travelling from Cornwall up to Essex. And so there's some of those where may need to be taken precaution. There's, I know in the Sky Bet League One where struggling Rotherham United are taking on inform and high-flying Mansfield Town tomorrow, or supposedly in League One. Their game is facing a 9 AM pitch inspection, so if you're a Rotherham fan listening to our coverage tonight, then you need to check out on social media tomorrow before you set off to the game at the AFCB New York Stadium for the 3 o'clock kickoff. He's Truffaut though for Bournemouth in our match now. On this left-hand side, low ball in, and he's put behind, is it? Yes, for a corner. Come off Gabriel last, and that will be a corner kick to Bournemouth. Truffaut, brilliant run down and a brilliant pass, and his ball into the penalty area. Sees Gabriel headed behind for a corner. You've got to say Bournemouth trying to crank up the pressure again as we went to the final few minutes. Here's the ball in towards the penalty area. He goes behind for yet another corner kick for Bournemouth, this time on the far side. Ball says stop complaining. It's -14 degrees in Calgary, in Canada. Which is a lot colder there than where it is potentially here. But it is still freezing here. Nevertheless, in the UK, and Bournemouth will have a corner to try and score from here. Also have one to defend as David Brooks takes in towards the penalty area. Come and claimed it is David Raya and balls it out quickly as Declan Rice tries to get Arsenal over the halfway line. Semenyo's tracking him as Rice does well to keep hold of possession but then loses out in the final few moments. It's complaining to referee Chris Cavan. The referee told him to get on with it as Semenyo looks to do that for Bournemouth. Infield to Tavernier. Good ball across there into the path of Jimenez. How wide it goes is David Brooks. Infield to Kluivert. It goes out to Tavernier, who shot his ball well by Jurrien Timber. Comes back out now to Senesi. Infield he goes to Alex Scott. Good play this one, Bournemouth. Kluivert. Senesi. Good ball in towards Semenyo. On this near side of the left now as is Semenyo as we watch. Here's the news. Severny gets the ball towards the penalty, looking for the run there of Kluivert, who goes down. Referee waves play on as the ball is now with Petrovic. Senesi's also look to try and come forward there, but then the ball back forward by Bournemouth is going to shoot into the arms of David Raya. And now here they come again. Rice. Good work here by Arsenal. He looks to keep hold of possession. Out wide now is William Saliba. Down the line is Noni Madueke. Back he goes to William Saliba. And this is a good ball over on the far side. Currently 1-1 if you're just joining us. Gabriel Magalhaes, the Arsenal defender, was punished for a poor pass across his own penalty area by Evan Nielsen, but then he responded by firing Arsenal back level. Here is Madueke for Arsenal, inside to Martin Odegaard. Less than 10 minutes to go until half time here as we watch on. It is Nani Madueke. Good play from Madueke into Martin Odegaard. Now into the path of Zubamendi. How wide it goes from Zubamendi into the path of Martinelli. Martinelli does well. Forces one way then the other. Brilliant bit of play. Martinelli again. Good crossing towards the penalty areas. Headed away. Here comes Gabriel. And Arsenal come forward again. It's Saliba this time though. And now into Martin Odegaard. Odegaard looks to come forward here now. Over on that far side is Martinelli. He's got Nkapie in field, just goes in field himself on the edge of the penalty area. His crossing is cleared away. But Nielsen is there, but only as far. He comes back towards more penalty area again from Saliba. Into Gabriel Magalhaes, who put Arsenal back level after his mistake, allowed Evan Nielsen to open the scoring here if you're just joining us. And that is a free kick. There fouled by Jimenez on Gabriel Martinelli. And this is Declan Rice where if you want to show you appeal for a foul and you go pull back again and he wanted a free kick there and the referee said no. I can understand his frustration there because for me I'd be wanting a free kick there as well. Here is Declan Rice so to take this Arsenal free kick. What can Declan Rice do here from this set piece? Can the Arsenal get a goal from this last free kick? Arsenal did get an equaliser. Can they get it from this time though? And not with that kind of a ball in towards the penalty area from the England international. Looks set for a big part under Thomas Tuchel. Does Declan Rice in midfield of the Three Lions side? There is. If you are watching our coverage while we are live and in the UK, some darts final, championship final, world championship final of the darts. Luke Lickler against Gianni Van Veen tonight on the TV. If you want to watch that one, it'll be sure to be a cracking final, I'd have to say. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes down the line. He goes to Nkapie, back to Magalhaes again. Now Odegaard. And now William Saliba. Odegaard again inside the centre circle. Moving towards halfway. And now towards the left hand side for Nkapie. Further wide for Martinelli, back down towards Nkapie. And Nkapie tries to get a cross in his paw. And behind for a goal kick. Nkapie goes down. There's a bold person. Not far from Nkapie laughing at him for where he went down and was looking. There is, it remains Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1 as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half. And what has been a good first half for both teams. If you're all tuning for the very first time today, thank you very much for doing so. We're really good to have you with us. If you are tuned in, wherever you are from, And we would like to bring you this game from the Premier League as a shot comes in over the top of the crossbar there from Antoine Semenyo as he went close again for Bournemouth. And that was so unlucky in the end, and you've got to be questioning there. That's got to be doing better there, Antoine Semenyo. If you're tuning in for the very first time today, please do click the like button on this video. Please subscribe. We are trying to grow this channel and trying to get more listeners, more subscribers to get the channel to grow. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you can help us get there, that would be a massive achievement. It would be very much appreciated as well. As we watch this game unfold here today, as here comes Martin Odegaard with the ball and towards the penalty for Arsenal. And that's a good piece of defending there by Jimenez to watch it go behind. And it will be a goal kick to Arsenal with 8 shots for Bournemouth, 5 for Arsenal, only 1 on target each. 11 touches opposition box for Arsenal, 8 for Bournemouth. Also with the lion's share of possession as well. You'd have to say Arsenal dominating the ball in the overall context of the match. But in the last few moments, it's Bournemouth and Arsenal have been having possession and been switching from one to the other in the last few minutes. But if you're just tuning into us, there is the ball forward and he's act clear there brilliantly. And he's Declan Rice with possession. And Clever watches it go behind. It will be a throw to Arsenal. Will it? No. It will be thrown to Bournemouth. Declan Rice not happy. Neither is Mikel Arteta. We're told Declan Rice just to leave it. As we watch this game unfold today, here's Truffert, who does well in field. So Alex Scott back to Truffert again. Tavernier sends this ball forward. And Louis looking for the run of Nielsen or Brooks down this near side as Declan Rice is forced out of play. There will be an Arsenal throw-in. Good pressure from Scott though. As Bournemouth will look to try and get another goal just before half time to then noses back in front. As we watch on here. As we watch on this. Still. Bournemouth 1. Arsenal 1. In the Premier League, if you're just tuning into us today. Where have you been? Thank you for doing so though. Leeds against Manchester United tomorrow at 12:30. War of the Roses. Yorkshire against Lancashire at Ellen Road. As here comes Arsenal trying to get the London side up against the South Coast side. But Yorke's ball into the penalty area was poor. And now Nkapia back to Gyökeres. With Gyökeres on that far side. He looks to keep hold of possession. Finds Zubamendi. Declan Rice. There is Gabriel Martinelli. And he goes back here now to Saliba. Timber. A bit of play from Urian Timber down the line to Noddy Madwek here. Infield he goes to Zubamendi. Very well there it goes. Now is Nkapia. Back it goes there to Gabriel. Now Saliba. Now Timber. Back infield it goes. Was Odegaard. But Bournemouth have nipped in and won the ball back through Justin Kluivert. Here is Truffert now. Sends the ball down for looking for the win of Kluivert. And also just win the ball back and try to come forward. And Bournemouth win it back again and send it forward towards the penalty area. As we enter 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. And it's still even Stevens, still anybody's game. As we approach the halfway mark of this contest. And you've got to really say that Arsenal have Burnley coming in confidence after the equaliser from Gabriel. Poor behave yourself with that prediction there. Just like I think Bournemouth will probably want to win this 4-1 Paul in the end, but we'll have to wait and see if your prediction comes correct, and mine does too. Normally I don't give a prediction, I'm just saying that to wind up. Well, I actually think Arsenal will probably go on to win this. But you never know, football's a funny old game. And here comes Martinelli for Arsenal, who brought into Saliba. Now Madueke, as Arsenal approaching the final 30 seconds or so before half time. Here they come again now with Yuri and Timber. Infield to Martin Odegaard. Zubimendi. How wide is Nkapie. Gabriel Magalhaes in towards the penalty area, and he deflects into the arms there of Jordi Petrovic. And remains Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1, and we'll just see this run again from Arsenal. We're balling towards the penalty, looking for Madueke and Martinelli there. I thought it was Gyökeres. He's right stuff for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard. Odegaard. Still going Odegaard. Martinelli, Odegaard again. Martin Odegaard. So just over the 2 minutes of stoppage time as Arsenal on the attack. Odegaard again. Well, there is the half-time whistle. And we are level at the break at the Vitality Stadium. And you've got to say that Bournemouth are fully valued for their draw at half-time. Thanks to Evan Houston's goal on 11 minutes. Gabriel with the goal on 16 minutes as we go to half-time here. Before we go for our half-time break, Arsenal did well to come back into it, but Bournemouth have held their own since Arsenal go back into the game. With half-time, it is Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. There's the match stats there on your screen, brought to you by Storm FM, one of our partnered channels here on the commentary hub. But before we go for our half-time break here, let's take a look at the scores from the Premier League matches so far, and also the scores, the fixtures coming up as well. So, on Saturday afternoon, lunchtime, it was Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Brighton Hove Albion 2, Burnley 0 at 3 o'clock. What about this for a shock? Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Wolves bottom of the table, first win of the season under new boss Rob Edwards. As you heard, Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1 at half time. Coming up on Sunday afternoon, no games being booked here to you on the commentary up. This is our only fixture from week 20 of the fixture list. It is Leeds United against Manchester United at 12:30. Everton against Brentford at 3 o'clock. Fulham against Liverpool at 3 o'clock. Newcastle against Crystal Palace at 3 o'clock. Tottenham against Sunderland at 3 o'clock. And Man City against Chelsea at 5:30. Chelsea's first game without Enzo Maresca as manager. Right then, at half time then at the Vitality Stadium, it is Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. And it's been a good first start. In all, Bournemouth with the possession, Arsenal go back into it, finish the half stronger, but we're level at half time. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in time for the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the commentators' coverage of Bournemouth against Arsenal as we see Arsenal just emerge from the tunnel right now. Bournemouth not far behind them with the two, just next to just behind the two linesmen. Looks like Trossard maybe getting ready to come on for Arsenal, or not just yet. It doesn't, but it did look like that for a moment or two before. Hopefully you're enjoying our coverage of the game, and it does, and it's going well this evening as we bring you the scores from, as you can see, the scores from today's match is going across the bottom of your screen. Just as we go into the second half, the temperature at the start of the second half has gone up a degree. We're now on 0 degrees, so a bit cold on the south coast. As we get ready for the second half, as Semenyo there, still looks like no changes to either side as of yet, as we get ready for the second half. There is Mikel Arteta walking out of the tunnel, just to one of the Bournemouth backroom staff and having a chat there, and a bit of laughter between both of them. And it'll be Arsenal against off and underway very, very shortly. The referee is coming just counting up, and the whistle has gone, and Odegaard is now goes underway for the start of the second half, playing it all the way back to David Raya, and he will send the ball long downfield, looking for Victor Gyökeres to chase. But there is Nkapie, whose header is forward put up by Semenyo, whacked against Nkapie's chest and out of play for a throw into Bournemouth. No changes there, so Bournemouth playing with Petrovic in goal, Jimenez, Hill, Senesi and Truffert across the back, Tavernier and Scott in midfield, with Semenyo, Kluivert and Brooks, with Evan Nielsen up front. As for Arsenal, Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Nkapie, Odegaard, Zubamendi, Rice, Madueke, Gyökeres and Gabriel Martinelli for the Gunners. As there is Nkapie with the throw. Where is he going with this throwing? Because there's another ball on the field, but you've got to say he's been told to go all the way back. He's gone still gone too far forward. The referee pointed back a bit further than where he's took it from there, and it's wrong with it. And it's proud of play by Victor Gyökeres for a ball throwing. And Bournemouth were also taking it from the wrong place, but Arsenal moving backwards. More scores in the 46th to 11th to the 60th minute. Arsenal with 11, Chelsea with 9, Liverpool with 8. So Arsenal with the most goals between now and the 60th minute. Can they add another one to that tally come the end of this game as we watch this ball come forward as Senesi plays the ball out wide to that far side there as he looks to come forward, and that's a wonderful bit of players ball in towards Declan Rice for Arsenal as he looks to try and help Arsenal do just that. But here is Scott to clear away. It's Bournemouth look to try and turn the roles reversal. Evan Nielsen goes down, somehow manages to keep hold of possession. There's a push in the back of Timber from Scott and a free kick way of Arsenal. It looks as though it could have been a free kick in the way of Bournemouth initially, but referee way play up, and a free kick goes the way of the Gunners instead. It's Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Magalhaes just all sending over the ball here, having a chat. Rice and Gabriel Magalhaes, the central defender, move away from the ball as he's going to be left to Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal captain. Now speaking to Pierre Nkapie's Magalhaes and also William Saliba. The ball will be played into the penalty area. Flicked on by Pierre Nkapie. Gyökeres brings it down. Can't fall for Saliba to strike a goal. And Bournemouth somehow managed to clear away through Semenyo. Only as far as Declan Rice. So back to Odegaard again. Odegaard taking 2 or 3 touches before finding Martin Zubamendi. Watch there we go. All the way back after some good pressing from Kluivert to Raya, who's giving the ball away. The ball fall from Bournemouth is being given away. But quickly. As now we're back underway with that flag taken quickly. Now Bournemouth trying to spread the play out wide. There's a wonderful pass from Clivert to Semenyo. Ball in for the penalty just behind Jimenez. There will go forward from the back. And then it's Alex Scott to James Hill. And now it is Marcus Senesi. Senesi will look to come forward now for Bournemouth. Tavernier out wide. He goes there to Truffert. Truffert does well to keep all of possession and was being forced back, which Arteta liked about that from his Arsenal side. Good bit of play this, and we've been forced backwards to Jordan Petrovic, who sends the ball long downfield. He's cleared away only as far as Declan Rice. Rice looks to control proceedings and find Zubamendi, and he does, and he's looking to find an option in a white shirt and finds Jurrien Timber, who finds Martin Odegaard. Odegaard looks to come forward. How wide it goes now on this near side. It comes back to Zubamendi. Zubamendi into Gabriel. Gabriel now into Declan Rice. As Arsenal were controlling proceedings at the start of the second half, 5 minutes into it, and remains Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. Gabriel again out wide to Martinelli. Back it goes to Gabriel. Now Martinelli again. What can the Brazilian winger do here? He plays it infield to Martin Zubamendi. And Zubamendi goes across to Saliba to find Magalhaes again. Now Rice. Good ball into Zubamendi. Back into Rice once more. Rice is forced backwards here to Gabriel. And now Saliba back into Gabriel Magalhaes. And Arsenal will look to come forward here. But Declan Rice has been forced backwards to Gabriel once more. As he will send this ball long downfield looking for Martinelli. Over the edge of Martinelli. We can't get there. Keep it in. Can he? No. But he passes the ball to Jimenez. Good sportsmanship there from Martinelli. As it will be a throw in here to Bournemouth. As Jimenez looks up, he will look to throw it long downfield. Semenyo holds up well. Being held onto by Nkapia. Back to Jimenez. And there's flicked on there from Evan Nielsen. No one in a red and black shirt. And a black striped shirt. Could go on end of it. Zubamendi picks up for Arsenal. Back to Saliba. William Saliba looks up as he will find the ball down the far side for Timber. And Timber can't get there from the return pass from Madueke. Ball looked back forward by Zubamendi towards Timber again. Bournemouth defending well on that far side as Scott comes in and wins a free kick there. Evan Nielsen backing him well, but what a ball for David Brooks in behind. David Brooks, it's a penalty. Brooks just across the face of goal, and nobody in a red and black shirt was there. Wow, that really should be 2-1 to Bournemouth. Bournemouth going with it quickly. Brooks is onside. May just be onside. David Brooks. With his ball across the face of goal, no one was there in a red and black shirt. And luckily for Arsenal, it remains 1-1. Because that really needs to be taken there by Bournemouth. Paul, I agree with that. Arsenal have been ported in front of goal. And can they get one here through Gyökeres? Gyökeres is had a penalty here. Bumping it. In. Oh, it's not there. The Rice! It's in! Declan Rice has scored! Arsenal in the lead! For the first time in this game, Arsenal have turned this on their head. Martin Odegaard teared up Declan Rice. And here fires home. And Arsenal have got their goal that they normally get. It's their 13th goal from the 40th to the 60th minute. and it's Declan Rice who has got it, set up by his midfield partner Martin Odegaard, and the Arsenal captain gets an assist, and Declan Rice back into the team, back on the goal scoring trail. Brilliant piece of play from Arsenal. Cherries does well initially, he battles well here. Timber with the ball forward. Cherries does well after Martin split on, and he breaks through Odegaard, who saw Rice there, who found it into the gap that was left by James Hill. Nothing Jordi Petrovic could do about that one, and into the back of the net. And Arsenal have been poor today, but have found a way to turn this game on its head, and that's what champions do. It's Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2. Ball sent forward by Jordi Petrovic. Here's Semenyo flicking the ball on in what could be potentially his final game for Bournemouth if Man City push through a deal to sign him in the next few days. Here is Clivert. Semenyo with nips in there to Declan Rice to win the ball back for Bournemouth after Arsenal had pumped it forward. Wonderful bit of play there from Jimenez. And that's a good ball from Jimenez out wide, and he's picked up here by Brooks. Down the line he goes looking for Truffetos. Crosses blocked by Noni Madueke, and behind for a corner kick to Bournemouth. Now it's Bournemouth to try and respond to going behind. And now Arsenal, as I mentioned earlier, I did say that Arsenal have only won once after conceding first. Could this be about to be win number 2 after conceding first for Arsenal in the Premier League? I wonder. We have got a comment in the comment section. We'll get to that in a few moments. It is Tavernier. Out down the line he goes. And there's a good cross in. There was a poor one in the end from Jimenez. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And it's Luke Turton who's been on. He says, what is this alien concept of teams having players running forward and scoring goals? Well, Luke, if you want to score goals, that's how you do it. And that's Arsenal's 12th goal most this season, from the 46th minute to the 60th minute in the Premier League. 12 goals for Arsenal now in that time span. But look, if you want to win games, that's what you need to do. Because you saw that with Forest when it was a goal from Morgan Gibbs-White. But apart from that, nothing really happened for Forest earlier against Aston Villa, did it, Luke? What are your thoughts on that game? Do let us know. We'll read them out. But please keep it family friendly and on-air appropriate. Here comes Bournemouth with possession for Tavernier. Good bit of play this now as Bournemouth just keep all of possessions. They will try to find an opening, like they did for the opening goal, to get their noses back in front or back on terms, should I say, for the first time from being behind. As here is Semenyo, almost lost out in Capia, but just want to beat him. Gabriel's in there, but low ball in. Brooks is round the back, and that is a brilliant piece of defending from Yuri and Timber. There he's claiming he come off David Brooks last. I thought he come off Brooks last. Let's look at this again. Semenyo does well. Low cross in. Ooh, does that come off Brooks last? This will tell us. This angle will tell us. Yes, that comes off David Brooks last. That, in my opinion, should not be a corner to Bournemouth. Both get the corner anyway. They take it, punched clear, and held clear by Madueke. Low cross back in. Semenyo's there, keeping the ball. Allowed Truffet back out wide. Ball whipped back into the penalty area. Sinetti flicks it on. Flicks it out the penalty area for Arsenal to break out with now. This is good pressure from Bournemouth. Marcus Tavernier, well shot straight into the midriff of David Raya, who goes down, and that should not be a free kick. Raya ran into Evan Nielsen there, and he gave Evan Nielsen a chance to run away from him. This is the effort from Tavernier which caused it. And for me, Ryan never gave Evan Nielsen a chance to run away from him. He just ran straight into Evan Nielsen, knowing that if you go knock, you go down and get a free kick. In my opinion, there. Anyway, by James Hill, but also pumping back forward. And Johnny Petrovic has possession. Coming up next on the TCHub on Thursday will be Arsenal against Liverpool from the Emirates Stadium. Join us for that one. On around about 7:50, 7:55 for that one. Do join us for that one there. As we remind you of the midweek fixtures, scores at half-time and full-time of that fixture list, that round of fixtures from week 21 as a ball in towards a penalty and he's put behind for a corner to Arsenal here. Bournemouth saying it was not a corner. Let's look at this one again, because the Bournemouth one that they got was not a corner. Is this an Arsenal corner? That one is a corner. Clock referred to last. Good piece of defending and good officiating that time from Chris Kavanagh. There. It remains Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2. As Gabriel and Saliba were from the back, and Capé will be in there too. Madueke having some stuff thrown at him, so he's just throwing it back, which could get him into some trouble. Going to the penalty, cleared away ahead of Martin Zubimendi, back towards Noni Madueke. Takes on his man Madueke, low ball in, put behind for yet another Arsenal corner, which Noni Madueke will go across again to take. It remains Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2. If you are tuning in for the very first time today, thank you very much. Luke says, I'll get to Luke's comments in a moment. As we watch this game of footage, Arsenal move the corner into the penalty punch, cleared by Petrovic. He breaks for Declan Rice. Rice is forced backwards here to Martin Odegaard. Back in towards the penalty area. Gabriel Magalhaes keeps it alive. Madueke crosses back in. Zubimendi can't get there. Bournemouth managed to clear and out of play for a throw into Arsenal. He says, really? Someone should inform Sean Dyche. And he says, his thoughts will take up way too many comments. No problem, Luke. Well, Luke, you're the only one who's commenting there, so feel free to put your comments in on your game from earlier on today, which finished 3-1 to Aston Villa. As Zubimendi wins this one for Arsenal, cleared away by Bournemouth in from that packed penalty area. And he goes back here now to David Raya. Here comes Declan Rice towards the penalty area, cleared away. And now here comes Nkapie for Arsenal. Arsenal just keeping a bit of possession and trying to build that bit of momentum. And he's put forward here, and this is a good bit of play from Arsenal. There's a ball pumped forward, wonderful ball, looking for Victor Gyökeres. Can he go into that? No, he can't. It will break now for Bournemouth and Tavernier. Out to this near side, and James Hill gets it to Alex Scott. Hill gets it back from Scott, and across there he goes to Senesi. Senesi with possession. Good bit of ball here from Bournemouth. Back into James Hill again and Scott. Jimenez on this near side towards hugging this touchline, but he goes infield to Scott. Now to Truffert, who can't go forward. Now it's Kluivert. Back out wide to Brooks this time. Truffert on that overlap. He goes back to Tavernier. Now Senesi. Good ball from Senesi is picked off. As Arsenal look to come forward. And a ball forward looking for Victor Gyökeres. Well, there's Johnny Petrovic reading that situation well and throws it And boots it straight out of play for a throw to Arsenal. Lucas giving me his thoughts as Arsenal look to make a change. It looks like Gabriel Jesus is coming on for them. Looks says, in short, if we keep making decisions like we did earlier, we will be relegated. Zero attacking edge and zero movement through the middle. As for John, in goal though, I have no words. I have some words, Luke, but they're not repeatable on air, I don't think. What Forest fans should be saying to him. Which, so won't say. But for me, if he's going to be a starting goalkeeper, Luke, you're going to have to be worried. For me, you need to be worried because he offers no presence in goal, and his distribution, for me, is poor. Clavert is down for Bournemouth here on the field. Challenged by Martin Zubimendi. Although Zubimendi did have the ball, just as he's running away, just catches him. Holding his knee is Justin Clavert. So the physio's on talking to him. Luke says, well, you did say keep it family friendly. I did, Luke. That's why I kept mine family friendly. But I think you need to replace him, Luke, if you are going to steal, because goalkeeper like that will not keep you in the division. In my opinion, anyway. Arsenal yet to get out of second here as Gabriel Jesus is going to come on. But first, we see a replacement for Gabriel Martinelli, which will be replacing by Leandro Trossard. Gabriel Jesus is coming on as well. So Gabriel Martinelli off, Leandro Trossard on. Victor Gyökeres on. Gabriel Jesus is on. Noni Madueke off. Bukayo Saka on. So Arsenal have changed their front three in this game. So Trossard on for Madueke. Trossard on the left-hand side in place of Martinelli. Jesus on in place of Gyökeres, and Madueke off to be replaced by Bukayo Saka. Bournemouth have made a change of their own, and Adley has just come on, a left back, he looks like. I mean, Adil's come on. We'll get a confirmation of that one in just a second. I mean, Adil has just come on for Bournemouth. We'll bring you that one in just a second. We're just trying to work out who's gone off here. And I can tell you that it is David Brooks who has gone off. Adil for the number 21. So there are your changes. As we will confirm that there is what on here is. Be interesting to see if Gabriel Jesus just get on the score sheet again, because then he would show Victor Gyökeres how to score in the end. As we watch on here as Bournemouth trying to get their way back into the game. Let's have a look at some more comments in the channel. Luke says agreed. Proactive changes. Wow, imagine a manager doing that. I agree, Luke. Because at times, I agree with that, Luke, because at times Farke has not done that. And Leeds fans have been questioning that. So, proactive changes. So we'll have to wait and see whether Farke does do that. But in recent matches, he has been doing that. One of them reactive changes. Here's Declan Rice with the crossfield pass to Bukayo Saka. His first involvement since coming on here, Bukayo Saka. And now Jesus can't get there. Can Jesus keep the ball in play cards? And then Adil comes back and wins his side a goal kick as we watch on here. It's Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2 if you're just joining us today. Declan Rice putting Arsenal in front after Gabriel had cancelled out Evan Nielsen's opener, which was a mistake by Gabriel. As well here, as you watch on, as we've played 69 minutes in the Premier League, as we watch on now, as Arsenal will look to try and see this game out. We wonder if Bournemouth will make any more changes. Arsenal have got 2 changes left. Bournemouth have got 4 changes left. As the yellow card is shown there to Martin Zubimendi, I believe. Yes, it is. It's Martin Zubimendi's 4th yellow card of the season for delaying the restart, as one tried to take a quick throw in and he was blocking him off from doing so. So he goes into the referee's no book. Be interesting to see how Bournemouth now shape up now and whether we'll make any more changes. As is, Jurrien Timber does well. He goes down and a free kick has been given. Iraola not happy. The decision there by Chris Kavanagh. And I'm on the opinion of the Bournemouth players and the Bournemouth manager Iraola there, because I didn't feel like that was a free kick either. One close penalty. Come back. Rice! It's 3-1! And Arsenal have secured, I would probably say now, the 3 points. Probably one hand on the Premier League trophy as well at this stage of the season. We never know, Arsenal could still play it away, but it's Arsenal's to lose right now. And they'll be heading 6 points clear at the top of the table tonight from Aston Villa, who went back to second earlier with that victory over Nottingham Forest. But Arsenal in the driving seat for 3 points now. It's Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 3. And it's that man with a brace, Declan Rice. The wonderful play again from Arsenal. Bukayo Saka does well into Timber. And then it's Saka makes the run. He's onside near Saka. And Saka cuts it back to Rice. And Rice finishes it off. Vo will probably check if we're offside against Bukayo Saka. But for me, he's onside there, Bukayo Saka. And this goal will count. But imagine, just wait to see whether VAR are checking this. Well, as we know, VAR will check every goal. But for me, he's onside. We'll leave in a moment if VAR are actually indeed checking this one. No, VAR didn't check it in the end. Goal does stand. And it is 3-1 to Arsenal. And you've got to say that Declan Rice, right place, right time, twice now, running from midfield. And this could only end up going one way now. Could be end up being 4-5-1 to Arsenal. Declan Rice looks to send Bukayo Saka away. And Saka almost in there. And that would have been a brilliant ball from Declan Rice there that gone in. We'll get to Luke's comment in a second. It is Evan Nielsen. Rice back there defending well up with Salim Azell. Saka in there, but Arsenal losing possession as Scott is coming forward. Jimenez. Scott again. Good play this is. That's a wonderful bit of play coming forward. Good movement here as the ball is in towards the penalty. Man goes down. Referee waves the way. It's away. And it's cleared up to Vernon behalf for a goal kick. Good defending from Martin Zubimendi. Luke has mentioned again, he says, running low, comebacks, and first time shots. Are you watching Nottingham Forest? With Declan Rice, that's absolutely superb. And you just look at the Arsenal bench there, the coaching staff. That's probably what they've worked on in training. As Bournemouth are making some subs here. As Scott and Kluivert have gone off. Cook has come on. And I'm trying to work out who else has come on. Lewis Cook has now got the captain's arm here. And the other man who's come on is Krupi Jr. as well there. So Cook, Krupi and Unal for Kluivert, Scott and Evan Nielsen there in a 3-man change for Bournemouth. As we watch this now, Luke says, running low, cutbacks, first time shots. Are you watching Nottingham Forest Football Club? I've already read that out, I think. It made me laugh. I read it out twice. Here come Bournemouth again to try and get possession as they look to come forward. Brilliant bit of play down the far side as Bournemouth look to come forward. And Jurgen Timber does well. Good turn away by Timber. He plays the ball forward. It's out there well, and this is a good bit of play. Good movement here. It's good defensive work, but Bournemouth have won a free kick there, and very, very soon we'll give you the, I'll be sending over to my producer very, very soon my choice for player of the match today in this game. Just whittled it down to the final two in my mind before I send it over to him in just a moment. My producer is the excellent Paul James, who covered brilliantly the game between Liverpool and Leeds United on Thursday at this sort of time. Here comes Bournemouth now with Tavernier. Good ball for Cook. And Krupi Jr. What a goal! Bournemouth back in it. 3-2. And that was Paul from Arsenal. Too much space for Krupi Jr. And that was sublime. Take a bow. And what a finish. Just look at this again. He's done well in his Friday. And Rice seen him late. And he's only way past him before he dives. And that's a good goal back. And Arsenal now on the ropes. There's Unal goes down. Saliba. He gives the ball away. Cook. And there is number 21. Adil. A bit of play out wide. There is another wonderful ball in there from Jimenez. Clear away this time and out of play. What can Bournemouth do here now? Lewis Cook does well to hold up the play. This is brilliant play from Bournemouth now as they look to come forward. No free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Odegaard gives the ball to Trossard. Trossard turns away into Lewis Cook. And now Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo shot is blocked. He takes the deflection behind for a corner. And Bournemouth now on the front foot, looking the more likely to get the next goal. Arsenal, despite leading, have been poor today. They've been poor, and nothing will change that because Arsenal don't know what to do right now, because when you look at it, it's been nothing short of poor from the Gunners. Ball from the corner, in straight into the side netting, and that was poor from Bournemouth. And I agree with Luke, that was a stunning strike from Krupi Jr. there to bring Bournemouth back into this game. As we just look at this again, Krupi Jr., what a hit! Straight into that bottom corner, and that was absolutely fantastic. Almost to the net off. And we're thinking, Give me the ball in that sort of distance again, and I will fire it home again. But Arsenal will probably not give him enough time and space like they did before. Let's go for Junior. Cook. Back to Krupi again. Out wide to Semenyo. And the minute is on the overlap. Brilliant bit of play. Still going. I agree with Paul. Super strike. But who was closing him down? Paul. There was no one closing him down. He probably felt Paul. And like I did at the time, as we see Krupi Jr. foul Leandro Trossard there and get his name taken, that no one there was not in anywhere near dangerous enough place for the goal to happen as Krupi Jr. picks up his second yellow card of the season. As Martin Odegaard makes way for Arsenal for Mikel Moreno in Arsenal's next change. As that was, and Martin Odegaard was up there for my player of the match there. I thought he had a decent game. Bukayo Saka now has got the captain's armband for Arsenal. And the player of the match, him just getting it down now. I'm just about to give you now just a second or two, Paul, just making my final decision. There's been a number of Arsenal players that have impressed me today. And I've made my player of the match choice. I sent it over to my trusted producer, Mr. Paul James. As we get ready to give that in a few moments' time. As Declan Rice was up there for contention in my running for player of the match, and he will look to do a long throw here, right in front of the Arsenal fans. Launches it into the penalty, flicked on, and just cleared away. Headed forward there and flicked on again. That's Zubimendi this time. Now Declan Rice watching this, wanting to watch him come down from the nice sky here in Bournemouth on the south coast. And he will send that ball long downfield. A bit of play there. He flicked header on. Handball appeals against Gabriel Jesus, not heard by Chris Kavanagh. There is Martin Zubimendi back to Saliba into Declan Rice, who's the scorer of the Arsenal 2 goals today. Brilliant ball sent long downfield, looking for Bukayo Saka, who goes down. The referee says no foul against on Bukayo Saka there in that right wing position for Arsenal. As Bournemouth come forward, here's Lewis Cook now. Who gets the ball out wide to Semenyo. Back he goes now to Hill, who can keep hold of possession. There's Senesi across to Marcus Tavernier. And that's good bit of play there from Bournemouth, keeping possession. It's played out of play for a throw-in, which will be taken over on that far side by Senesi. And he will play back, maybe for Truffer to play to Tavernier, who sends the ball forward, looking for the run there of number 26. Ennis, who now keep hold of possession. He goes down and now referee says play on. And then Saliba goes down and he gives a free kick. Pulls the ball back for the free kick to the foul on Bournemouth after the advantage wasn't played. So the foul on Truffert for the foul by Timber on Adil. She said on Adley. get his name correctly pronounced for you. Lewis Cook standing over the set piece for Bournemouth as he looked to try and deliver the ball into the penalty area. He's inside the penalty area, goes too high and claimed by David Raya. Balled out quickly by the Spaniard. And Capier over halfway. Now it's a Trossard. And Trossard goes down under the challenge there of Semenyo. Free kick to Arsenal. Trossard will be sitting over this. Semenyo not happy. Trossard leaves it for Declan Rice to take this set piece as he will look to take it quickly down the line looking for Gabriel Jesus, and Jesus does well and he wins a goal kick, concedes a goal kick for Bournemouth. Thought he won a corner initially, did Gabriel Jesus, and I thought he had as well. As we watch this game unfold. Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. As Moreno can't go with the quick free kick for Arsenal. Zubimendi does so and finds Timber. Timber charging forward. It's out wide to Bukayo Saka. Saka does well. Ball in field as they look to come forward here to Arsenal. Is whipped into the penalty area. Headed up away, shot back in from the edge of the penalty area. Saved by Jordi Petrovic. As was Mikel Moreno, it was with the strike. Decent efforts from Moreno. It was going to go wide anyway, but Petrovic didn't know. He wanted to keep the ball in play, to try and get Bournemouth on the front foot fairly quickly. Here's Senesi. He can't get the ball forward. He's blocked by Gabriel Jesus, and he was clad well there by Mikel Arteta and also Leandro Trossard, who was over there. Trossard now won his way back over this side now. On this near side from that far side. Semenyo cuts in field across the centre circle to Tavernier. Good ball forward looking for the win of Semenyo again, but Bournemouth have lost possession. And Arsenal looking to come forward now with Bukayo Saka. Saka charging forward. Saka in field to Declan Rice. He's on an hat-trick, remember. Finds Leandro Trossard. Trossard inside the penalty area. Trossard's shot is deflected. Behind for a corner. And Arsenal looking to get a fourth goal here to potentially put a seal on this game. It's Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. As we come towards the closing stages of this game. It will be Bukayo Saka to take the corner for Arsenal as we watch on here. He'll be looking to be whipped into the penalty area. He's up and under, headed by Moreno back across, goal is cleared away, only as far as Zubimendi. Leandro Trossard is there. Trossard sends it back towards the penalty area. Bournemouth managed to clear delay. Play across their own penalty area for James Hill to get the ball forward to number 20. Then he's giving the ball away as Jimenez. Here's Mikel Moreno. Crossfield pass by Moreno to find Saka. Here's Timber. Good play again. As Arsenal to come forward. Saka cuts in field. Saka! Shot over the top of the crossbar. Rice was calling for it to the edge of the penalty area. He felt that was meant to be a better option. But the referee, but the kind of Saka didn't spot him and fired a shot over the top of the crossbar instead. The second half, despite some silly decisions in the first half he was making, I think the referee did a much better second half than what he did in the first. I'll give you the play of the match very, very shortly. I've not forgotten about that, guys. We come towards the end of this Premier League encounter. Declan Rice on the screen there, one of my contenders. But has he actually got it today? Here is Rice. He wins the ball back for Arsenal. Moreno. Good ball forward towards Gabriel Jesus on this left-hand side. Just keeps the ball in play. Up against Lewis Cook. He takes on Lewis Cook. Cook slips down. Grabs over to Jesus. Pulls Jesus down. Doesn't get a free kick. There, Gabriel Jesus. Bournemouth with a free kick for the foul by Gabriel on Unis Enal. Unis Enal wants to take it quickly, but drop. And Gabriel Magalhaes stopped him from doing so. We're coming towards the end of this game now as we watch on it. Can Bournemouth find another an equalising goal? Or will the goal from Declan Rice, which made it 3-1, win it for Arsenal? Ball is played forward. And he's played into the penalty, headed away. Cook can't get there. Jesus who puts his foot through it. Tavernier turns away from Trossard. He's back now on this right-hand side with Jimenez. He sends the ball towards that far side, headed back across. There's a penalty area for Moreno to clear. And Moreno goes down as we enter 6 additional minutes at the end of this game. And there's a booking for a Bournemouth man there. Just trying to work out who it is. Who's got booked? I believe, I'll see it again here, Adley is being booked. The number 21 for us, for Bournemouth. I mean, Adley, first yellow card of the season for him. In the next stoppage of play, after this bit of attack, which will come up from David Ray's kick now, I'll give you the player of the match, which I have chosen. And it's been a tough one for me tonight. There's been a number of Arsenal players that have put a decent shift tonight. Arsenal trying to get a 4th goal as well. It was penalty and shot is saved well there by Jordi Petrovic from Jesus' effort. He bowls it out to James Hill as Bournemouth will look to come forward here. Can Bournemouth get a goal to equalise? It's cleared away. Rice is there. And Trossard. Now Jesus. Running towards the edge of the penalty area. Into the penalty now. Gabriel Jesus. He can't get a striker goal. Jimenez bad there defending. And he charges away from Trossard. Up towards halfway. Ball sent forward. Cleared away by Arsenal. Declan Rice is there. Infield he goes. To Moreno. Now Trossard has possession. Good play from Trossard. Keeps on the possession for Zubimendi to come up and support. Now Bukayo Saka. Saka does well. Charging forward. On that right hand side. We're one with them, the other inside the penalty area now. No ball player can touch him. Mikael Moreno edge of the penalty area. Look to that. Line up a strike. He can't. Finds Nkapie. His ball into the penalty area looking for the ball there. He's gone up into the air. Claimed well by Jordi Petrovic, and he bowls it out, and Bournemouth will look to come forward with Tavernier to that far side of the left, and Bournemouth will to come forward down level. Brilliant interception, ball play back forward, and while it's in the arms of Jordi Petrovic, or while Petrovic and Bournemouth playing out from the back, I can tell you that today's player of the match, sponsored by Football Live, goes to Arsenal's number 41, Declan Rice. 2 goals for Declan Rice today. Brilliant performance. 2 goals, 2 shots, an XG of 0.54 for Declan Rice. And he is our player of the match today. The ball is put behind by a deflection of Bukayo Saka's cross for a corner kick to Arsenal, as Arsenal look to try and get a 4th goal before the end of this game. With Declan Rice, Arsenal, our player of the match, brought to you and sponsored by Football Live. the Kayasaka with this corner then. Gabriel Jesus across there. And Jesus is holding it in the corner. Which too early to hold it in the corner there for me. And that's why it's a goal kick to Bournemouth. And now, there's about 2 minutes to go. If it's like, say, 30 seconds to go, I can understand it. But not with, it's like 2 minutes to go. But what a game this has been. He's coming up towards the end of this game now. Flicked on there. Brilliantly. Can Bournemouth get on the end of this one? Senesi sends it forward. Controlling well. And it will go back to David Raya. And Raya keeps all the possession, moves a man down for Bournemouth. Inside the penalty area. Adley is the one down. Saliba trying to get him up. Ref is sending an elbow towards the referee. Capri helped him up here. Let's look at this again. If anything, Bournemouth's number 21, in my opinion, having just seen what happened there, Adley should be booked for simulation. He's saying it's an elbow, and what I will say it, yes, it is an elbow, but the reason why I'm saying he should be booked for simulation, guys, when you see it, you'll understand, because he puts his head down into the elbow of Gabriel, trying to get him sent off. And that is not sportsmanship like. And he should be booked there for act of trying to deceive the match officials. Yeah, Luke, that's what actually happened. Adley lowers his head to find Gabriel's elbow there, rather than Gabriel swinging his elbow into his head. There's a shot there, takes a deflection behind for a throw, and as Bournemouth look to try and get a last second equaliser here. Long throw from Semenyo will come into the penalty area. The Bournemouth keeper is up there, Petrovic. Back to Semenyo. Well, the full-time whistle has gone, and Arsenal have done it. Arsenal have beaten Bournemouth by 3-2. What a game. What a game that was there. Lewis Cook is complaining, saying there should be more time added on here. The referee is blown for full time. And the Bournemouth coaching staff are not happy here. The whistle has gone. It's full time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. But Bournemouth aren't happy. Now there should have been a bit more time added on there. And they're surrounding the referee. Lewis Cook is telling the Bournemouth players to go away. And the Bournemouth manager comes across to have a word with Chris Kavanagh. And the whistle has actually gone. The full-time whistle has gone. Time is up. Let's see why he says time should be added on here. Let's have a look at what's happening here. Yes, I agree that more time should be added there, because the flying comes in, he's headed back out, and he's controlled it to pull the ball back into the penalty area. So that phase of play has not come to an end. I can see why Bournemouth are angry there. But if time's up, time is up. No matter where it is on the field, the whistle can be blown at every moment. So that whistle could have been blown before the throw-in had been taken, because time was up before the throw-in had been taken. So if Chris Kavanagh felt like, what you saw in 96 minutes, was up, it could have blown before that throw-in was taken as well. We're full time at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. We're just going to take a quick break, but then we'll return to go through the full-time scores from the Premier League and recap the Premier League table and the fixtures for tomorrow. The full-time at the Vitality. Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. Welcome back to the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth have been edged out by Arsenal by 3-2, thanks to a brace for Declan Rice, one for Gabriel after Evan Nielsen opened the scoring. Krupi Jr. pulled it back to 3-2 with a fantastic strike, but the full-time whistle went, and they finished Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3 in the end. Let's take a quick look then at the scores from the Premier League from this weekend thus far, and the fixtures coming up as well. So full-time scores on Saturday the 3rd of January. Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Burnley 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, West Ham United 0. And Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. The fixtures for tomorrow are Leeds United versus Manchester United, Everton versus Brentford, Fulham versus Liverpool. It is Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace, Tottenham Hotspur against Sunderland, and Manchester City versus Chelsea. Now let's look at the Premier League table, starting off with the bottom half of the table. As we go from the bottom upwards, well, let's have a look at the bottom half of the table first. And that result for Bournemouth means they remain 2 points above Leeds United. West Ham remain in the relegation places after their defeat to Wolves. Wolves with their first win of the season on 6 points now, 6 points behind Burnley. Burnley are on 12 points after their defeat earlier to Brighton and Hove Albion. Leeds United can leapfrog Bournemouth tomorrow with a victory and close the gap to Newcastle before they play Newcastle tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, to just 2 points going into their game against Newcastle at the weekend in this upcoming midweek round of fixtures for game week number 21. Now let's take a look at the top half of the Premier League standings then. And Arsenal extend their lead back to 6 points over Aston Villa, and they are 7 points clear of Manchester City, who will drop down to third. Man City to play Chelsea tomorrow, and Chelsea sits in fifth. Rising up to eighth after their win over Burnley earlier today as well. Sunderland in seventh ahead of their game against Tottenham tomorrow. Brentford make up the top 10 with Everton in between them and Brighton. Manchester United in sixth, going into their game against Leeds United tomorrow, 3 points behind Liverpool, will take on Fulham tomorrow as well. Arsenal, as I say, with that 6 point gap over Aston Villa and 7 over Manchester City now. That gap is starting to increase for Arsenal as well, as the team could be increasing for the teams just below them as well. Right. Without further ado, let's recap. Let's just remind you again of the final score here at the Vitality Stadium, where we've brought you a brilliant game of football this evening. It's finished Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. Big thank you to Paul for his producing role today. Really good to have you with us, Paul, for that one, and really big help for that one. If you have enjoyed our coverage today, please hit a thumbs up on this video to let us know that you've enjoyed our coverage. Please leave a like there. Please hit the subscribe button as well and hit that notification bell to get notified when we are on air. Our next live offering on the TCHub will be at the Emirates Stadium, also back in action again on Thursday, the 8th of January 2026, 8 o'clock kickoff with Arsenal against Liverpool for that one. Join us on air from around about 7:55 for that one on Thursday. That's our next live offering. But as we leave you tonight here at the game at the Vitality Stadium, Arsenal extend their lead back to 6 points after Villa's earlier win today. But for myself, Russ Vernon, Paul James, and the rest of our brilliant team here at the commentary, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage, and we'll catch up with you again real soon. But for myself, Russ, Paul, and the rest of the team here, have a good rest of your weekend. Unfortunately, I'm not able to bring you any games tomorrow, so we brought you one tonight instead. But for myself, Russ Vernon, and the rest of the team here at the commentary hub, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, have a good rest of your day and your weekend, and if you're back to New Year break. From all the team here, hope you had a good Christmas and a good start to your New Year as well. Happy New Year from myself, Russ Vernon, and the rest of the team as well. Hopefully this year is everything that you want and more. But from all the team here, thank you for joining us as we leave you with the final score at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 3. Thanks for listening and goodbye for now.